he finally had his signature game. Not from
See, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that either.
I mean, one of his touchdowns was they got the ball on the 3-yard line.
Yeah, but
the other one, they got it on San Francisco's 42. He had 2 nice long drives. The other 2 were in San Francisco territory. And like I said, one of them was on the 3-yard line.
It's Cutler taking that helmet to the sternum, and as he got up, as Rosenblum wrote, so did the Bears. It was symbolic, and he led them. And you still have to perform. You still have to execute. You still have to score on those drives. So,
well, the same thing with what you said about the Bears. He needs to do it again. He needs to do it for a full 4 quarters. I need to, for me, because I am one of the biggest Cutler critics.
There's nothing
he needs to prove that he can do it for 4 quarters.
There is nothing he can do in your eyes.
No, he can. If he shows his leadership and shows that he can play at a high level, because he looked like crap in the beginning of the game. He looked like what I said he was.
Dutch hate there.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Philadelphia Eagles now have taken their second timeout with 3 seconds left in the game, and the ball at the Indianapolis 18-yard line. They will kick the field goal and most likely win this game.
Wow.
What an end of the game.
Provided that something that doesn't drastically happen with their kicker. Well, how about that?
Crazy.
Amazing. Crazy, yeah.
One of us said that the Colts were a mediocre team with a really good quarterback.
It is week 2.
One of us said that, but anyway. Hey, let's take a 4-minute break, and then we'll come back and we'll do our picks for next week. You're listening to the NFL Hour on 87 Sports Fans Live on Late Night Sports Radio.
2, 3, do you think about me? 4, 5, 6, let me ask you this. 1, 2, 3, do you think about me? 4, 5, 6, let me ask you this. 1, 2, 3, do you think about me? 4, 5, 6, do you even see? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, you think about me? 1, 2, 3, do you think about me? 1, 2, 3, do you think about me?
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
87 Sports Fans Live, the last segment of the program, folks. It's the NFL Hour with Mr. Jim Saranteas from thefantasyweek.com and Steve Taylor, my compatriot, as always. 25 minutes remaining in the program, folks. And this is the part where we talk about, we look forward, folks. We try to be forward-thinking. And we give you our picks for Week 3 in the NFL. But we won't waste your time. We will only talk about the games that we differ on, where there's actually something to discuss and talk about, so you don't get three of us looking at each other and go, yep, that's right. Yep, that's right. So, the games that we all are feeling pretty confident in our prognosticating abilities, we are all like the Falcons. We all like...
Wait. Falcons against, I'm sorry, who's in that game?
See, I was trying to get by because I was calling up the schedule. I didn't have the schedule.
No, keep
Atlanta
going. I'm
over
sorry.
Tampa.
There we go.
Tampa.
There we go.
Tampa
Sorry.
Bay travels to Atlanta. We're picking Atlanta over the Buccaneers at home. We are all going to pick the Cowboys over the Rams on the road. Philadelphia over Washington at home. Houston over the Giants in New York. Well, really New Jersey. New Orleans over the Vikings at home. Cincinnati over Tennessee at home. Indianapolis over Jacksonville on the road. New England over Oakland at home. Seattle over Denver at home. Miami over Kansas City at home. And the Carolina Panthers beating the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. So which games do we differ on? Well, let's start with the first one on the docket, and that would be the San Diego Chargers at the Buffalo Bills. Now, you just heard me, folks. I'm not a Bills hater. I'm picking the Chargers. Jim and Steve are both picking the Bills, so it's on me, I guess, to kind of justify my pick. This is based purely on what we saw yesterday against the Seattle Seahawks. The Bills' defense is nice. They are not the Seahawks. And whether the Seahawks were having an off day or whatnot, whatever, they are still the best defense in the NFL. And what we saw was Phillip Rivers and company go after the Seattle Seahawks and put them on notice. They didn't shy away. They didn't ignore the side of the field Richard Sherman was on. They went at Richard Sherman for the most part. And, maybe he gets angry and we see a different Richard Sherman this week. But Keenan Allen, there was a great highlight of Keenan Allen just juking Richard Sherman out of his shorts and showing that he's a human being. But that kind of mentality going at what everyone thinks is the end-all, be-all, including myself, of NFL defenses, I like that, and I think they're going to go into Buffalo, and I just don't think at the end of the day Buffalo's offense is good enough. I think San Diego is better defensively than even I thought before the season started, and I'm picking San Diego on the road.
See, the reasoning behind me picking Buffalo is, as I said earlier in the show, they are a tough team to play on the road because Buffalo and their crowd is very raucous and very energetic. You can even throw that whole 12th man description in on them. And San Diego, I think they have a very talented team, but they are one of those teams that you're not sure what you're going to get until the coin toss. You don't know what San Diego team is going to show up. So I'm just giving Buffalo the benefit of the doubt. That defense is hungry and just all over the place. I see them just giving San Diego some fits.
Yeah, basically, I agree with Steve. The bottom line is this was a tough game to call for me. If I had to give it a confidence point, it'd be like 1, 2, or 3. It's just not very high. I'm giving it to them at home on defense. I don't think the Chargers are. They're not. Week 1 proved to me that they're still sort of the same kind of team that they had last year. It's a lot of the same personnel, a lot of the same plays. Eventually, Antonio Gates should be losing steam, and we should see Ladarius Green coming on. But the Bills, I think that defense is for real, and I think at home it's harder to beat them.
It's all fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. According to Pro Football Focus, has the Chargers rated as the 6th best overall defense. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. I just think eventually it won't be a whitewashing by any stretch of the means, but Chargers over Buffalo. The next game where there are differences of opinion is the Baltimore Ravens.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me, folks?
Keith, we can't hear you.
Are you there now?
Yeah, I can barely hear you. You're
Barely,
kind of fuzzy.
Let me jack this up. How about now?
It's not bad.
Are you hearing me now?
Yeah.
I got a bad feeling that's going to come back, and all of a sudden it's just going to be all up in your grills. But anyway,
We'll let you know.
Okay. The Baltimore Ravens travel to the Cleveland Browns, and Steve and I are actually picking the Browns at home. I'm assuming based on what we saw against the New Orleans Saints. Jim, you're picking the Ravens. Why?
They're the more dominant team. Defensively, the Ravens, I think, are a top 5 defensive unit. There's no comparison in that regard. And offensively, Joe Flacco has what it takes to be a top quarterback this year. He's got 3 TDs. I want to say right around 400 yards passing, and that's already against a couple of really good defenses. And I just don't see Cleveland pulling off a second upset in a row. It's just not going to happen.
I'm not as sold on Baltimore offensively.
I agree. I'm not sold on Flacco still. He has to.
But wait, which aspect? The guy threw a couple of TDs this past weekend. He was about 300 yards passing?
Yeah. Okay. So
No, he had a good week, but it's the same thing with me where I guess I just need to see some consistency. Last year really he had a really off year. I know they had some injury issues and whatnot, but just to me, I don't know. I don't have that much confidence in Baltimore. And this was kind of one of my shot in the dark calls. It was the upset special of the week, let's call it. Just I think Cleveland has a lot of heart and they got talent on that team, and they might not win, but I think it's going to be a lot better game than people are going to give it credit for.
Who's the better offensive team, New Orleans or Baltimore?
Oof.
So you're saying because, what is it, X equals Y and Y equals Z, X must equal Z? No, that's not how football works. I mean,
I've never taken
give it whatever reason the Saints lost, whether you want to say their offense was misfiring, they weren't on the same page. Clearly, they do have the better offense than the Browns' defense. There's no question about that.
I'm just saying, if it's
right,
possible
but
for
the point is the Ravens still have a better offense than what the Browns' defense has.
We shall see.
We shall see.
Well, and I
This is a
suppose
tough
just
one.
sort of like that Pittsburgh Steelers-Ravens game. We shall see.
We shall see.
Go ahead, show off. Yes, he points out the game that he picked the Ravens and us two picked the Steelers from last.
Yeah,
week.
and you guys were talking the same smack that you're talking right now, and I'm just here to tell you, you can't get away with that here.
Nice.
And there it is. There it is. Well, the game was close. No, it wasn't. I'm just trying to.
I'm making this pick for Monty.
Look, I think it was impressive that the Browns beat the Saints, but that there cannot be a person anywhere that does not believe that game was an anomaly. That should not have been the result of that game.
And that's why they play the games.
Absolutely.
All right, Steve, you're on the hot seat now. The next Green Bay travels to Detroit. Jim and I both like the Lions at home. You're picking the Packers. Why?
I still say Green Bay has the better offense between the two teams.